we've just had yet another winter storm, so we're hoping that that might have done something to break up the algal bloom. But it has been so persistent for more than 4 months now that I doubt very much that one big burst of bad weather is going to deal with it. What we have is a bloom that started in our late summer that reached the size of our Kangaroo Island, which is about 4,500 square kilometres, 20 metres deep. So we're talking about a unicellular organism that multiplied to such an extent that it completely dominated the seascape where it was, toxic for fish and causing spreading misery for people who care about the environment and people who are dependent on its health.
We're obviously in the peak of summer here in the UK, but where you are now, it's the winter. Are you concerned that as it gets warmer, the situation could get worse?
We're disappointed that it didn't break up once the first winter storms came. We had hoped that. It's what usually happens with these kinds of algal blooms. We think that there are probably two reasons it didn't. One is that it's killed so much sea life that it's getting nutrition from these dead animals. So it's got that source. And we're in the middle of a drought. It's the second year in parts of South Australia, the driest on record. And so it's been a very sunny winter. And this thing photosynthesizes. So it's getting the sun it needs, it's got the nutrients it needs. And it's so big that even though some has been washed off into the deep water, enough is still here. Now, what that means, of course, is that unless nature rebalances in some way, which can happen, a virus can come through, some sort of balancing event, then it is likely that we will at least have to be prepared for a bad summer.
Has the federal government taken it seriously enough?
Well, it has, and I understand probably part of where that question is coming from is that there's been a debate in Australia about what constitutes a natural disaster. And of course, we're speaking English. You and I understand that a bloom of this nature is a natural disaster. It's both natural and a disaster. But of course, when you're a government, you have a list of criteria that you have to meet if you're going to unleash money that's dedicated to disasters. And algal blooms aren't on the list. So what we've done is we've approached them directly for the funding that we need, and they've given it to us.
On the money, then, 14
Mm.
million Australian dollars has been pledged. Is that enough?
Well, it may or may not be. So it's what we asked for. So we're spending nearly 30 million between us because, of course, the state government is investing as well. And it's to do some more immediate response for industry. There are people who haven't been able to fish since March. There are tourism businesses that have been affected and so on. So make sure that we're supporting them. This will go. It may come back, but it will go. And we need to make sure that we're immediately investing for our brand recognition. So please, if you see South Australian seafood, if you can buy it, it's safe to eat, but also to restore nature fast. Because the more resilient nature is, the better we're going to manage this period of climate change.
Can you smell it when you walk around?
Yes, yes, not always, but I have been Corinnia mikimotoid, so that's the species, the dominant species of the algal bloom. I was down on the Yorke Peninsula, which is one of our wild places on the coastline, and we were quite high up on a cliff top, but you could see this sort of ugly spit on the water, and it smelt acrid. And immediately, because the wind was rushing in, our eyes were streaming and we were sneezing. Now, as soon as we were in the car, it was fine. So humans have an allergic reaction. Mammals have an allergic reaction. We're not poisoned by it at all. It is a fish killing entity because it gets into their gills and breaks them up and they suffocate. It also sucks the oxygen out of the water overnight. You can go down to the beach. You can see the foam on the beach. You can see the discoloration. If the wind's in the right direction, you can smell it. So we are seaside dwelling population. We have a magnificent desert in South Australia where there are, of course, lots of people who live, but the vast majority of our population clings to the coastline. And so we identify with the sea. We are economically dependent on the sea. And so the grief that people have felt just walking along and seeing dead fish, or much more acutely, people whose livelihoods depend, has been immense.